Yo, what's up everybody? Chris Douglas here with You, Me, Spirituality, and it is 2020. And let me tell you, this year is going to be so much better than last year, because last year was the craziest, absolute craziest year of my life because of what happened, like developing my intuitive side, the self-transformation, growing myself, and not only growing myself, growing my businesses, and then bam, we're here in 2020, and I was like, what should we do? There's always something to do, right? But it's like, what do you do? And then intuitively, I did some meditation. I did some kind of just like inward thinking, exploring, and then talked to some other intuitives. And then bam, the idea comes in full force. And I'm like, I need to do self-transformation videos. Why? The why is the most important part of this too. The why of why would I make a self-transformation video? Well, let me tell you this. Let's see, back in 2017, 2015 to 2017, I was a nurse. Actually, 2018. Man, that was a while. Gosh, I can't even remember. So before this, I used to be a nurse. Before becoming an entrepreneur, I used to be a nurse. I was an adult nurse, then I was a pediatric nurse, and then bam, my yod activated, and I fell into entrepreneurship. And then I also started chasing my passion of filming and helping others through education. So I thought, you know what? 2019 was a really big inward growth year. And in order to go through this process, it sucks. It's really hard. It doesn't suck. It's just really difficult and really confusing through the process. But when you get to the other side and you start realizing all the transformations that you've done, it's very empowering. And then, I could just hold it all within and like, nobody's going to get this. Or I can help educate you guys, or actually like open up your minds to the concepts of what a self-transformation is and how to approach it. So that's what we're going to do, right? Simple. So let's go to the basics of self-transformation. And we can even hit the astrology aspects too, which are kind of cool. If you're a Pluto child or you know anything about this little tiny planet they call Pluto, that's a transformer. But transformations all happen within, and it has to happen within before it can happen outward. Because essentially my belief, and a lot of other intuitives' belief, is what your inward perspective creates your outward reality. I'm going to say that one more time. Your inward perception creates your outward reality. So in a sense of what you believe on the inside is what you create to view on the outside. So before, let me tie this in, I was a nurse working in pediatrics, and I liked my job, but I went back to grad school because I did not see myself working that job for the next 30 years. Because after 2 years, I was bored as... super bored, super bored. Like, I was literally like, all right, I'm paying my bills. I work 3 days a week, maybe 4 if I want a little extra money to go on a trip, and I do it again. And I do it again, and I do it again, and I can't do this for 30 years. And through nursing the whole time, I kept stating, man, I'm too creative for this. I need to start my own business. I'm too creative for this. Like, I was so creative in nursing with the stuff I would do, and then I'd always joke about starting my own business. And then I think I spoke it into existence enough that it happened. And I manifested this new lifestyle that has been very rigorous. But get this. And I also have a biology degree before that. So I have a biology and nursing degree. Never thought I'd do that, but I did it. And I'm like, what do I do with it now? Well, let me tell you. This last year, as I've stated numerous times, has been probably the most transformational year of my entire life. But you hear that and you're like thinking yeah, I bet it was fun. Chris, you were always having fun. On the inside, I was extremely stressed. I was like, what is happening next? What am I going to do next? And I ended up finding myself living in the moment over and over again. And I was like, by the time the end of the year hit, I went and did a recap video, and I didn't realize how much stuff I'd actually done this year. And I was actually blown away, and I was trying to make a 4-minute long video with all the stuff I'd done, and I couldn't. And then I was like, whoa, look what we did. Look what you created this year. How did it happen? What did you do? And then, oh my gosh, you finally reflected and noticed what you did, and now you're getting all the rewards from it. But you have to have such a high amount of stress in order to transform. Because from a biological sense, think of it this way. We have these things called alleles, or variations of genes. So you have all these little codes inside you. Think of them as like plugins on your computer, or software updates. So you have these within you. So when you have stress creates change, and stress activates alleles, which are variations of genes. Don't get lost in the word. It's a funny word. But so when you have this much pressure or stress, it squishes you and it causes you to grow outward in a sense of, okay, I need to change this, and this in order to survive and thrive. But then on the backside, you got your ego who's like, yo, I don't like the change. Why are you changing? Hey, quit. That doesn't feel good. And it's like your ego tries to stop you and creates more resistance, and then the stress, and then boom, before you know it, if you made it through the fire, you might have got burned, but now you're growing from your ashes and you've transformed into something you never thought you could be. Ironically, when I had a bio degree, a nursing degree, I was a full-time nurse, I had zero confidence in myself. Zero. I thought everything I was doing was just like fun and creative and was just more of like a creative outlet. I had no confidence to put it out there, to talk to people about it, to preach about it, to inspire others about what they could do with their lives. I was just kind of going through the motion. And then after all these trials and tribulations, I've endlessly found myself believing in myself more, almost to the point that whenever I make a production video now, I almost am just like, dude, that's fire. Like, it's so good. The last one sucks, but I endlessly find myself like looking for the next video. What's that next one I'm going to make? And I keep getting more and more ideas, and I'm not hiding with the ideas I'm creating or the videos I'm creating. I'm like sending it to all my friends in text. I'm putting it out there on all social media platforms. Anybody I run into who's like, oh, you do video work? I'm like, yeah, check this out. And it really took a bunch of people complimenting, and then all this stress and pressure and anxiety and like all these messes, like crazy nights in my head to be like, dude, you're good at this. You should grow this. And you should also like help other people understand what it takes to go through this process. Because like I stated earlier, it was not easy. It was not easy. It was fun. It was definitely fun. But the stress almost at points was like the fun and the stress were just like teeter-tottering, because essentially you go through a process like this: a super high, a super low, a new high, a new low. And you just increase this wavelength of like the process you're going through. But the highest highs feel super good. The lowest lows almost like humble you, knock you back on your ass, and then you're like, I shouldn't be doing this. And then bam, next thing you know, somebody slides in, you get a new job, you get a new video, you create a new project, you blow your own mind, and then you find yourself endlessly going down another like rabbit hole and all these outlets on like stuff that you could possibly create. And then you learn this thing inside your head called your brain is the most powerful thing you could ever use and learn how to use to create the best reality for yourself. And to tell you the truth on that, right now I'm reading a book about the law of attraction right now. And I've learned some super cool tricks. And it's funny. The last probably month and a half, I've been exceptionally good at manifesting crazy stuff. A gimbal, a trip to Turks and Caicos, like all this stuff I've just like endlessly spoken, and then it shows up, and I'm like, the first time I was like, that's kind of cool. And then it happened again. And then it happened again, and then it happened again, and I was like, I think I'm onto something. And then next thing you know, I get a Kindle Unlimited subscription for $1 because I started to love reading, and then I find myself in all these books that I can't put down. And then I was like, wait, I think we're getting onto something. And I was like, hey, so let's create this self-transformation video. So, all that, I know it's a lot. This is an intro video, so there's a lot of stuff to filter through. But overall, self-transformation is almost a basic model of look at yourself, learn to dislike what you dislike about yourself, write it down. And then below that, create a list of things you want to be. But if you want to create your reality sooner and learn the law of attraction to attract everything you need to transform into who you want to be, you just got to write it down. You got to write it down. You got to speak it out. And the key is putting it in the present tense. Yeah, and funny thing is, I saved this part in the video till later, so maybe people who like watched it and should be watching it would like stumble upon this part and be like, oh shit. Because it is so powerful. So when you reflect on the parts of you that you dislike, you almost, you have to welcome them in and say, hey, come here. You're not a demon anymore. I welcome everybody into my mind. So I'm like, okay, this is my demon. This is the side of me I dislike. This is my shadow side. So shadow side, nice to meet you. Let's sit down. Let's have some coffee. So I'm having some coffee with my shadow side, and I'm like, so here's what I want to do. Here's all the things that I want to be in 2020. So I'm going to write them all out, but here's the trick. Write it in the present tense. So I am so grateful that I am so inspiring and helpful to people who watch my YouTube channel. I am so thankful for everybody who watches this channel and that I can inspire all the millions of people that I'm helping right now. I'm endlessly grateful for. Funny thing is, my subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and dreaming. And on top of that, I'm a Pisces, so I endlessly dream. So now I'm creating this giant gap that my mind has to fill, or if it doesn't want to work as hard, it throws out all these cords and attracts all this stuff. And then boom, next thing you know, maybe this channel blows up. You just really never know how this all works. But this manifestation process, meeting self-transformation, is very powerful. And in the following videos, I'll cover individually like each transformational process I went along the way, from being non-spiritual and non-religious to like really opening up to spirituality. And then from spirituality, I really opened up the eastern side of medicine that I endlessly enjoy, such as like chakras and essential oils, and meditating, and even Reiki. Like, I'm a certified Reiki practitioner. Never thought I'd do it. Never even knew what the heck it was. And then a year ago, I meet somebody, I take her course, and then boom, next thing you know, I found out I'm an intuitive, and I'm out here just like throwing facts to people that I don't even know, and they're like, how did you know that? And I was like, shh, don't tell anybody. So that is what I want to create with this channel, and I'll endlessly do all these astrology readouts because I love them, and they also help with your transformation, because as soon as you can align your astrology with the actual like planetary alignment and know like when your Pluto is in the sector and when you can really transform yourself, if you know what's happening and you're ready for it, you can exponentially grow it faster. You can know what's happening. You can be ready for everything so that you're more prepared for the changes that you're welcoming in. So I want to end on that note because this video is getting long enough, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for last year and watching all the videos that I just got an intuitive push to like create. And now I'm seeing where this channel is growing to. And I'm endlessly excited to see like where it absolutely ends up and what happens with all this, because you know what? I'm manifesting, I'm attracting, and this is part of what I've channeled in to bring in 2020. Thank you. Have a good day.